with that trumpet fanfare having gone, I think we're live. Are we live? No, wait, not yet.
Looks like it.
Now we're live. Yes, it's the delay between what I see and what is shown on Twitch is a hell of a thing. I'm back! I'm back, and so are these lovely faces of mine. So, before I introduce you to everyone who is here, and please try not to fall in love just yet. I mean me, obviously.
Too late.
Aw. There's a couple of important things to always mention as we go live, because a couple of thanks to give out, a couple of announcements to make. The first thing, because we are playing Tachyon Squadron. Tachyon Squadron is built on the engine of the Fate core system, which, if you haven't played, it is actually genuinely one of my favorite systems. So when I had the chance to run this, of course I jumped at it. Fate is beautifully narrative and allows you an incredibly freeform way of telling a story. I like it. So for that, we have Evil Hat Productions to thank, and also for sponsoring this show.
Yes, thank you.
Right. There's now we have a couple of other shows, of course, this season, as we always do. There's going to be Relics, Game of Angels. This is sponsored by Tin Star Games. There's a Fallout game. Now, if you've kept your ears to the ground in Tabletop Spheres, you might have heard about this Fallout game before from Modifius. Modifius, a long-running friend and sponsor of the channel, so go check them out. Modifius also make a whole raft of really cool games and publish them, so yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. And there's also a game of Cult, which you should all check out. And I swear I will have the schedule up next time so I remember what time everything is at. But the schedule is basically everywhere you find Weave the Tale. There's a schedule. Go check it out. Cult Divinity Lost is a superb horror game. If you've ever seen the artwork for it, you probably have felt that sudden itch of, oh, wait, my money's gone. I've bought the book by accident. That is... Yeah, so that's called Divinity Lost. That's by Helmgast. And we are also sponsored, and now, they don't, unfortunately, ship to Norway. Otherwise, I would be drinking it. This is coffee, but it is not Grinding Coffee, which is another sponsor of ours. Grinding Coffee are a Black LGBT-owned business, so go check them out, because, frankly, who doesn't like a good bit of energy? And if you don't like coffee, I'm sure there are alternatives, but they don't sponsor us. So that's why coffee is superior. And lastly, but not leastly, there's also Dice Dungeons. Which, if you want your dice to have dungeons. Actually, there are so many of my dice that I would love to put in a literal dungeon and then just, put the irons on them and ask them, why do you roll so badly? But these are just wishes that I have. Now, oh yes, caffeine. We'll do a quick introduction and then we are going to jump into the story, and once we conclude, you'll hear more about where else you can find us on the internet, other than our Twitter accounts, which are linked, under our portraits. That's the word. Our portraits, our cameras. That's the other one. So let's begin with. I'm just gonna go clockwise round. So we will start with you, Kevin. Please introduce yourself.
Hi.
Your character.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kevin. As you can see in my little Twitter handle, from the Lawful Geek. I'm playing Phil Banks, aka Boomjockey, a stunt pilot turned combat pilot, one of the members of this squad, and my first time in a Weave the Tale game, so really thankful for the opportunity to be here.
Yeah. And right below there, although with the way cameras are going, I should point this way, which is mirrored. Void. We're
Hi
playing once
everyone,
again.
I'm Void from Void Cat. You might have just seen us in an alien game. It was really fun. So here we are. I'm gonna be playing Parker today. Parker is the child of a mechanic and a really impressive flyer. So she's also a really impressive flyer and not so much the other stuff. Her name's Starfox because she likes to do barrel rolls.
There you go. A reference to an ancient and archaic bit of terminology that no one really remembers where it's from, but it's just kind of stuck through the ages. And it was great grandpappies before that. On this side, yes, the camera says this side now. Petra.
Hey everyone, I'm Petra. You got my Twitter handle underneath. I'm playing Haley Rutherford, who for the longest time was like the poster child of the military until a few years ago when she allegedly botched a mission which caused the death of many civilians. She doesn't think she's responsible for that, but that pretty much ended her career. But fortunately there were other ways to get back into the cockpit, so she took them because flying is all she has, and there are reasons why she has a call sign Predator.
Allegedly. And
we'll see, I guess.
Last, with that lovely lighting, Zane.
Hello, yes, I'm Zane. I am confirming a sword quill pod. I am going to play Shirin Madani, call sign Teal, who grew up in a very, very criminal controlled slum, took over her dead sister's identity to sneak her way into military because that's what was her only way out. Proved to be a very skillful pilot until they found out she's not really her sister, and then they were like, either you go to prison or you join this random squad over there. And she was like, I don't care where I fly, just give me a ship. And now we're here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now we're here, and I guess I didn't introduce myself. Yes, hi, I'm Diane. You can find me as Balrog1911. And I will be your GM of possibly many voices and probably lots of space effect noises.
Pews.
And that's it. So, oh yeah, there's going to be pew-pews all over. So,
nice.
Let us take you to the Draconis System. Now, the world we're in, technically, I guess, the galaxy we're in, has two major powers. Spaceflight has long since been researched in many, many extents, and over time, several factions grew to have certain levels of control over certain sectors of space, and some of them grew and grew, and in the end, the main struggle here in this part of space ended up between what is known as the High Republic and the Dominion. It was a long, bloody, and messy war that lasted a decade. And in the end, both sides more or less just grew tired of the fighting, of the attrition, of the pointless and meaningless warfare, and decided a ceasefire was in order, a truce. It's been an uneasy truce. They are opposed to each other in terms of ideology, in terms of beliefs about who should do what in the galaxy, in terms of beliefs about who should rule which planets. There are contested zones that were never quite settled, and the odd skirmish still exists here and there, as it is. But in between all of this, there's the neutral system of Draconis. It was agreed that neither side would be allowed to exert control or influence over Draconis, but that doesn't necessarily mean they don't. And most specifically, the Republic, despite its devotion to ideals of personal liberties and such, decided to interfere. Now, they couldn't interfere directly, but what they could do is label certain starfighters as surplus, sell them to one company that sold them to another company that sold them to another company, and through various means eventually ended up on Draconis. And then maybe run a recruitment campaign for pilots who wanted a new adventure, for pilots who maybe didn't have too many other options, for pilots who, in some cases, didn't have much of a choice, to join the Draconis volunteer group. These four are part of that group. 3 squadrons of starfighter pilots, minimal support ships, and no backup other than their own. And they are what stands in the way of whatever threats might infringe on the Draconis system. They all have their own personal, colorful histories. And where all this overlaps, as we pick up at the moment, the 4 of you, you are having some downtime. You are enjoying a little bit of a break, between your usual combat patrols, which more often than not don't see too much combat. Combat patrol mostly means flying the same routes, occasionally cracking jokes at each other, and occasionally shooting a meteor in the hopes that someone might mistake it for a combat kill and you'll get a little bit of excitement out of it. It's not the greatest of times. A patrol is a patrol. For every 100 that you do, 1 will be eventful. These patrols mostly are within the Draconis system. Every now and then you range outwards if a threat is detected, if command decides that maybe there's something you should check out. There are, of course, certain areas that you don't go to. Some are Dominion controlled, some are Republic controlled, some are just not safe. One of these is the Tuwanye system. Within it, there lies a mystery. 2 mysteries are involved with this, in fact. The first of these is known to you. Pilots who fly in do not return. It is both mystery and fact, all at once. Both the Republic and the Dominion have sent scouts to ascertain what the reason could be, to no avail. Sensor data that came back is distorted and garbled, and so far neither side has been willing to risk their larger ships to investigate this inexplicable situation. Centuries ago, the only attempt at sending a larger ship was a colony ship, a settlement ship. It too was lost. The last time anyone heard anything from this system was when a crew of Dominion deserters fled there, trying to evade pursuit, taking the ultimate gamble, only for them and their pursuers to never be heard from again. In over 150 years, it has been treated as the equivalent of a black hole. The second mystery, then, is this. As the four of you, your wing, not your wing, your flight, are on combat patrol, how can it be that your sensors have detected a ship emerging from Tuwanye, pursued hotly by a flight of Dominion fighters, with a course set directly for Draconis? And that is where we hand over to the four of you. You are out flying combat patrol when all of your sensors register this incoming signal, which could only be coming from one origin, an origin that none of you have ever seen anything emerge from.
Oh my god, you guys, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yes, and
Okay, wait.
I'm
listen,
gonna check
nothing has
my
ever come out of this. We have to go check it out.
I'm gonna check my
there,
systems.
Easy there.
Like,
I want to make sure we're not having a something red, an anomaly. I want to make sure this is legit
something
before we
finally
jump
happening.
into this.
okay, listen. If it's on your screen, my screen, and both of their screens, I don't see how it could be a reading problem. So I think we should go check it out.
Shirin, wakey wakey. Looks like we've got something to do for once. Di, just to confirm, so we get we get all we get the signals from the one that's fleeing, and then
Mm-hmm. Dominion ships, unknown type, probably goblins.
how far away are they?
At this point, they're at the edge of the system, closing in rapidly. It won't be too long before they're here. They're decelerating, but given that they were traveling at extreme speeds, that deceleration is going to take them quite a ways in.
Anything around us? Asteroids, other flying rocks we could use for cover, so to hide behind.
You know, let's start things off with some rolls here.
Sure.
Boomjockey, you wanted to check your systems to make sure they're not malfunctioning. Could I get a
And
technology
also,
roll?
to see if I can pick up any additional information on the ship being pursued and the pursuers.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, let's leave it as a technology roll. Let's see, and this is a pretty simple thing, so you only need one shift of success to, you only need one or high. Oh, yeah.
I think I have more than one.
You succeed with style, so you can gain an extra benefit from this. Let's see. The first thing is your systems are working perfectly fine. The readout is accurate. This is in fact real. Something is coming at you from the Tuwanye system, and it's pursued. The flight that's following it, Actually, yeah, the flight that's following it is 3, as far as you can tell, 3 blips, which, given their characteristics, do seem to correspond to the, as it is lovingly known, the DF-112 Goblin, oft flown by Dominion for its own patrols and scouts. The additional information I will give you is this. What's coming at you is, because you succeeded with style, this is your additional benefit. What's coming at you that is being pursued is a transport ship. And as you look at your sensors, you can see a smaller vessel detach from it.
Okay, folks, we got 3 goblins in pursuit of a transport, but I just saw, my sensor just told me there's a 5th vessel just detached from the transport, so we may need a course to intercept that one.
Did you say transport?
Yeah, transport.
So my question
Do you think
stands:
this
is
the
there
transport
anything?
that disappeared?
Yeah.
I
If
think a
there's
lot of things have
anything
disappeared in there, Starfox.
That delay, we'll get used to it. From you, Peta, I would need a notice check.
Ew.
I will set this also at a difficulty of 1 because you have been flying patrol, so you've probably noticed a few things already, but we'll see.
Notice coming up. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting about a little pop-up window. Go
Yeah,
away.
it happens.
We're sure
Some
those are
games
not
have it, some games
especially
don't.
fast asteroids. I don't want to be disappointed again.
If that isn't enough, I could use my augmented spec
It's-
to.
You're fine. The difficulty was just a 1, so you definitely succeeded on this one. Where you're at the moment, it's a relatively open area of space, but even in an open area of space, given the speed your ships are capable of, the Blackfish superiority fighters do have sensors technically on an area where there are a couple of asteroids just moving slowly through, and with your instruments you can calculate that they should actually be able to, if you hide amongst them, you should be able to actually be on a path to intercept, and it will definitely give you a bit of cover.
The follow-up question would be, in where we are right now, does would we be allowed to attack Dominion, or will we get in trouble for that?
The Draconis System is neutral territory, which means any Republic or Dominion ships entering this system are in fact completely valid and legal targets for your guns.
Null space.
But
There's
you
no
definitely
lab
should
here.
check in with mission control before you actually open fire.
Yeah, so
Oh,
Haley would
bureaucracy.
Haley would go, all right, how about we loop around a little bit, take a little bit of cover, do a 2x2 so that at least 2 of us can get say hi to those Dominion fighters. But I'm gonna check in with
Mention the offshoot craft. We should probably cover that one.
you. Do that.
We'll do.
Did you say who was it I should check in with? Mission control?
Mm-hmm.
Haley's changed. Haley's going by the protocol, but she's already initiating what she suggested. She's going to loop around so she can get some cover from at the nearest asteroid, so that she can then get behind the Dominion fighters.
Mhm.
Or if they
Watching
start
your six and
attacking,
following your
flank
lead,
them.
Predator.
Sorry, come again.
Watching your six and following your lead, Predator. Did you say flanking?
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Hope you're excited.
Flanking
Finally
left.
get some action. And so Haley would send the call, so like mission control, this is Predator. And sort of basically quickly describing in pilot lingo that I yet have to learn the situation at hand.
There's a little bit of a delay. Given the distance you're away from Draconis, it takes a couple of minutes for the signals to bounce back and forth, so you give the update on the situation. Then there's silence for a little while, in which time I will assume that you're all flying towards these asteroids, and then when you're about halfway there, you get this sort of, the slightly fuzzy response from Mission Control going, affirmative. Dominion fighters confirmed. Permission to engage.
All right, let's go.
We're go.
That's all I needed to hear.
That's not why I need to.
Followed about 10 seconds later by, please ensure transport ship arrives safe and sound. We wish to interrogate.
And Haley sort of mutes herself and says, yeah, no kidding. What do you think we're going to do? Goes into position.
All right, friends, let's dust off the fighting skills.
So Shirin, you're gonna go with Phil to take care of that transporter? And the little one?
Who?
Shirin. Sorry, I should use the call signs.
Yes. Just point me to a target and I will do it.
Well,
Okay.
big transporter,
Moving to intercept
baby
the-
transporter.
Moving to
Gotcha.
intercept the baby transporter and give it cover.
All right.
Moving transporter.
Alrighty. If you are heading towards these asteroids, I will ask you for. Yeah, let's make this a challenge. Which is to say, you're trying to hide amongst asteroids that are slowly moving through space, but also they are moving through space, and you're going to have to maneuver yourselves a little bit. So I will need a piloting. Actually, okay, I should not use the word challenge because that's actually a specific term within Fate. We might see that another time. I would need a piloting roll from each of you.
Okay.
And let's say this is at a difficulty. If the average comes out to a +2,
What? Come
it's a
on!
success.
Bullshit.
Starfox.
I have a question. If I want
Yes.
to
Sword
get
pilot.
close to the baby transport, is that something that I can do while also hiding among the asteroids, or is it something where I would need to be out in the open for?
Given the time you've got before they get to you, you'd have time to hide first, and then once they are on approach, you can split up and take your different targets.
Okay, then I will do that.
You could rocket out ahead of everyone else and try.
I
to
mean,
get
I
to
do
the
have a
transport,
souped-up engine. I could do it, but I don't want to split the party this early.
I clearly
That will
just
put
got
me in,
way
like,
too overexcited.
5-1.
denying me my fun, really. I still need a
I
piloting
mean, you could bribe
roll.
me.
Anyway, but yeah, I still need a pilot
running
roll from
pilot.
you.
Yep.
Okay,
There we
yeah,
go.
that averages out to good enough. So the four of you as a flight, and we haven't established this. I forgot to ask. I was going to ask at the start, who is currently flight leader? You can decide this amongst yourselves. If anyone wants to just go, you know what, I'm flight leader, then do it.
I say Predator. Predator is the
And we just
experienced
talked
one.
about this in the green room.
I
Predator
know.
doesn't
Eddie's
want
not
to
gonna
be
do
flight
it,
leader.
but I think
I know,
think
but
we've
Predator is the
changed.
responsible parent.
Or
Oh,
we can have
you don't
Predator
want to
be
accuse
flight
someone of
leader,
that.
even though Predator doesn't want to be flight leader, and then that can be a plot thing during the season where you're like, "That's it, I'm done." Right? Right.
Well, we'll see how it works out. But yeah,
We just need one more botched mission and we change the leader.
Too soon.
we'll see how that goes.
Boomjockey too soon.
Well, with those rolls, despite Starfox getting a little over-eager to begin with,
See that?
you do all get yourselves reined in, and you manage to get yourselves in amongst the asteroids. So I'm going to create that as an aspect for the next scene, which yeah, that's going to be a boost for you. Specifically during the detection phase, you're going to have the boost of, let's call you space junk. Which will give you a +2 should you decide to use it. And I will make that, because it was a group roll, it means you have any of you, all of you can invoke it once. Which, you know,
Would invoking that one cost a point?
no, because this is a boost that you've created that's placed in the scene. Fate points are spent on your own personal aspects. If it's a scene aspect, invoking it doesn't cost anything.
Awesome.
So, let's move over to the detection phase at this point. So, between the time that you're getting yourselves into position, you do lose contact with the group that's approaching. There's several large masses in the way, and you're maneuvering into position, so you don't really have time to pay close attention to everything. You lose sight of the blips. You just kind of see them occasionally getting closer. You do know eventually you get a ping that they are approaching, and this is, I guess, where we do the detection phase, which means for my players, you are going to roll tactics, and then I'm going
With
to
the
roll
+2, right?
against.
Starfox and me.
You can invoke the +2, which, I mean, I'll be honest, you'd be fools not to. Now, I'm not accusing
Oh, yeah.
anyone of
+2 for
anything,
what?
but
I like that roll.
I have instinctive flyer, so I roll pilot instead of the other thing.
nice.
Same.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We sneaky.
6.
Wait, what did we get a +2
Waiting
for?
for this combat.
Because of we're
forgot to
hiding
add
among
that.
among asteroids.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot to add that,
But-
so mine's actually 5 as well.
Yep.
6,
Okay,
5,
so
5.
your lowest is you're all 5s and
Nice.
6s, which is fantastic. Those are heroic efforts. That's amazing.
So
I caught
far,
up. I was so
staring
embarrassed. I
at
was like,
asteroids.
oh no, maybe I should
Uh,
stick to 3 because I didn't get the +2 because I just like failed that asteroid spin.
Just
I
Well,
think
but
fast.
don't,
I think
don't
coming
move
out the other
yourself
side.
just yet onto the tracker because you might go undetected with that high of a result.
I think
Let's
Starfox
move-
would,
that's right.
Starfox would occasionally hear comments over the comm from Haley, sort of, "You get this, breathe." You still with me?
Buddy. Okay, I'm back on your tail. Got it.
Okay, so the opponents did not roll that well. They also did not have a boost. You have all succeeded with style in this case, which means all of you are undetected,
Ooh, yeah.
whereas the opponents are all visible to you. Savor it while you can. This is not going to happen all too often.
That's what you say.
Yes,
We're here to prove you wrong.
that's true. You may yet do that.
To be fair,
So-
to be honest, this is likely our best roll of the night.
Looking
Yeah,
for-
it's possible.
That's true.
Okay, so let's see. One. Oops. I'm just gonna put these on the maneuvering chart, and being undetected means you can literally just kind of jump in anywhere.
Wherever we want.
Beautiful.
And the well, let's make this
Predator, I am ready for
An
pincer.
atlas.
Do you want to mark your target for me?
Sure, but I think we should at least try to contact them. You know, just to be nice.
That will kind of defeat the purpose of the whole stealth thing. If we kind of tell them, hey, we're here.
We could
No, but, you know, I
shoot
think popping
a
up-
couple of warning shots and then some more, and if they survive, we can be like, hey, we can talk.
That's what I was thinking about. You know, maybe perhaps this is all one big misunderstanding. And everybody's friendly.
I'm just here to herd everyone in whatever direction you want.
Mhm. Well,
Yeah, that's there.
as you are hiding behind these asteroids, the other ships approach. Oh boy. And we've hit 20 retweets, so you have another boon incoming.
Ooh.
Mhm. Please, everyone, get it to 30 retweets so I can drop a Bane as well. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Um,
you know,
What?
get us to 40.
What?
That's what you need to do. Get us to 40.
Oh, if you could, 40 is good too. Then I can do everything.
All the power.
Let's see. Narratively speaking, where's this going? You see the other group approaching, and at this point, you have detailed sensor readouts, and you also, if you kind of peek around as you're rotating with the asteroids, you can occasionally get glimpses in the far, far distance of light flashes, which immediately tells you that's not a friendly party going on. And as they get closer and closer and into actual visual range where you can start to make out shapes, you can see that the smaller or the larger of the ships, what looks to be basically just a civilian transport ship, is damaged. It is leaking atmosphere. There are parts of its hull that are glowing from impacts with very, very superheated metal. The engines are only about half functional. It's not looking in good shape. Two of the goblins are also currently chasing and trying to shoot down the smaller craft, which you don't quite know the type of. It does appear to be a fighter of a type not quite known to you. It looks, design-wise, it actually looks somewhat similar to yours, to the Blackfish's, but there are pieces you don't quite recognize. There are aberrations to the design that are unfamiliar to you. And yeah, the third fighter is just indiscriminately trying to shoot down the civilian transport, which is trying to dodge and juke, but it is a larger, more lumbering ship, and as such, there's very limited options as to what it can do.
All right, everyone.
Excuse me.
Forget about what I said about being nice. Get your guns ready and loaded.
Ready.
Going for the little baby.
Yeah, I'm
Starfox,
still trying.
let's hit it.
Just to double check.
Still trying to get behind
protecting
them.
the small one, right? Not shoot, explode. Protect. Correct?
Yeah, let's cover it.
I'll get behind
the transport. Take out the goblin, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll get behind the goblins. See if I can spook them a little bit.
Shirin's making post-it notes, like which to shoot and which to protect, like sticking them on the screen.
You're ex-military. What the heck? What have you been doing the whole time?
This is what worked for me, okay? Don't judge.
This is enemy. This is friend. Got it. Right. As far as turn order goes, like I said, you are undetected, so you can more or less jump in at any point before or after an enemy, or before or after anything else does something.
Yeah.
For the moment, unless any of you want to just immediately jump in, I'm going to start with one of the NPC actions.
I would like to immediately jump in.
Yeah, samesies.
That would be fair. I guess it would make sense for Haley to wait a second if she wants to get behind the goblins.
Right. Okay. So, okay. Yeah, Starfox, Boomjockey, given who you are. Yeah, let's start with you. You've got the souped up engine. Boomjockey, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go out of my hidey hole and just on a mad intercept dash on the two goblins pursuing the little one, hoping to fire on one of them as I approach.
Okay.
I want to. Yep.
Do you want to? Do you want this to be an actual? Do you want to take a snapshot as you approach?
Yes.
All right.
I have. Here's the thing. I want to. How many aspects can I use for one thing?
How many fate points do you have?
I have 3. Something.
So, but you have to justify how you're using it, and I have to agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, we're clear on that. So the first one is the souped-up engine, just going on a really mad dash there, and the second is my personal stunt, one shot, one kill, which is gain +2 to gunnery, made in a Starfire the first time you attack a given target in an engagement. I don't know if that one costs a point. Likely does.
Yes, it does if you want to invoke it.
Yep. Then those are the 2 I want to invoke.
All right.
Just using both right off the bat.
up front. Yeah. What do you want to invoke with the souped up engine? Like, what do you want? What effect do you want that to have?
Just get me as close as possible and as quickly as possible to to stop
Okay.
them from further attacking
Well,
the little one.
that part, I'm going to say you don't need to invoke anything for that.
Okay.
That's just part of the narrative. Basically, invoking only counts in terms of if you're using it to influence a dice roll
Oh, okay.
in some way or another.
And in that case, I'm just using the stunt.
Okay.
For that.
Yeah. So 1 shot, 1 kill. So please spend one of your 3 fate points. I assume all of you have a way of tracking that. And then, if this is a snapshot, please make a gunnery roll. And oh right, hang on. Yeah, no, you already used it for the detection phase. Yeah, all right. So please make me a gunnery roll. The opposing goblin is going to try to defend with its pilot skill. Okay. Is that with the... Alright, that is with the +2. Okie dokie. I should just pop this one out so I have ready access. Their piloting isn't the greatest, but we'll see. So, let me just double I just need to double check one quick thing and then I will get back to this. All right, so the opposing pilot rolled a 3 on piloting. So that is 1 shift in your favor. In the flurry of action that's going on, and with you zooming in, you're traveling at very high speeds, given the custom bits of tinkering you've done on your engine, which is great for getting there very fast, less great for the incredibly precise shooting that you're trying to go for. However, you do still land a hit, and you can see the target's shields, which seem to have already been weakened by the ongoing dogfight against what appears to be a pretty skilled defender here. The shields flicker, and you reckon at this point 1 more hit and they're gone.
If I can, I'll just throw that comment out there. That you got 1 shot. Run away while you can.
And there is no response to you from the Dominion ship. You do know that running away is one of those things that is heavily discouraged in Dominion space, but they will do it because when you're a starfighter pilot, you do want to stay alive.
Yeah, true.
As your second step, what would you like to do?
Just make. I want to. What is the name of the action? Tactical refocus.
Okay.
I actually don't need it.
Yeah, so. You're at the top of the maneuver chart, so you will drop down from undetected to a +9. So refocus would not serve you well at this point.
Yeah, in that case, can I take a second shot?
Unfortunately not. Attacks are only possible in the first phase. Like either the
what
first
is,
phase or a full phase
push?
action.
What is push?
Push would be pushing someone who's at your maneuver section down. You can also push somebody who's below you. So the one
in that
that
case, I
you
want
can
to push. I want to push the one that is on the same level as the other craft down, so they can't attack that one.
All right.
Oh, cool.
Let's see. So, push roll. Yeah. So make a piloting roll in this case.
Okay.
Oh dang! You have succeeded with style.
Wow.
So this one is pushed down to the same level as the other two. This also generates a boost. What would you think an appropriate boost would be?
Let's go with a classic. I think just make this pilot, and actually the two pilots that were pursuing if possible, the two pilots that were pursuing the little one, make them jittery, like they just got a surprise attack from out of nowhere. Give them that aspect.
Yeah, so as a boost, I will say I'll put it on the one that you're tangling with at the moment.
That's perfect.
So let's say, we'll just say that this is Goblin 1, who is jittery. So that is a boost for you. Any of you who are engaged with Goblin 1, you can invoke the jittery aspect against their piloting roll.
That's the one on the left?
Yeah, the only one who's currently got a label, because I haven't yet.
I can't see the label.
We don't see labels for any of them, yeah.
Well, that's annoying. You're supposed to. I will try to. Well, okay, I'll keep it for myself. But I will let you know when you're engaged with which one. What is everyone's notice skill? This, by the way, is something that I need to know to determine who goes next.
I've got +2, but I also have the augmented spec that lets me maximize 1 die on a notice roll.
Yeah, but that's for rolls. This is just your base skill level.
Okay, +2.
Everyone else?
Tactics 2.
No, notice.
Notice. Give me a sec.
Shirin says +3.
Notice is 1.
And a 0.
Okay. Starfox, yours is 0. Alright, then
Yeah.
you are in fact not next in the turn order. I am sorry to say.
I mean, that's fine.
Yep. So, what is in fact next That will be you, Predator.
So, they're still ahead of us, right? Like they haven't.
Yeah, they're
passed
coming
us
at
yet.
you. You reckon they'll be past you pretty soon. If you want to wait until they're past, you can basically wait for a little bit further down the turn order. Let's say after they've taken their turns,
Nah.
and then pounce.
Is it apparent to the rest of us in the dire shape that the transport is in? Because you said something about one more shot and they're gone.
Didn't you have 2 notes?
For the civilian,
I think the poor state of one more shot and it's gone. It's the fighter that I shot.
yeah, it's one more shot and its shields are gone, which is also quite dangerous. The civilian transport, it's an unknown type to you, but given the state of it, you reckon it can take a little more, but it's not here for a prolonged or sustained fight. It does not have the capacity for it, so either you get rid of the pursuit, or let's say it probably won't survive another minute.
All right. Is it fair to say, because we didn't really discuss it beforehand, but that we are not just all on one side and they're here, but that we are sort of on flanking them?
I'll allow it, since you did say you were taking cover in the asteroids and you were talking about flanking before, so I'll let it.
Yeah, Haley would just say to the others, I think I skip biting their asses for this time around. Not sure how much longer the transport is gonna make it. So she's just gonna break cover and try to... She's not going directly for them. Sort of trying to loop around, and if that makes one of them break away and follow her, so be it. That would also be good.
In terms of actions, so are you trying to create an advantage here?
Yeah, that's I think that's the best way of putting it. So she's like breaking cover, but she's not going straight for them like Boomjockey did. She's trying to go around. If nobody's following them, eventually she's just gonna sort of get on their asses, but she's providing a distraction.
Okay, would you say this is like lining up a shot?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will need from you, I'll need a piloting roll. You're going to need a +2 or above to succeed on it.
And I assume it wouldn't make sense to say that I'm sort of trying to get the one that Boomjockey was engaging with to follow me, because that would have been on his side, right?
There's enough space to maneuver that you can, like, if Boomjockey shot at it, it's probably going away to the other side.
Okay, then I would...
So it might actually be flying at you.
Okay, then I would like to also use that aspect, the jittery aspect that was placed on it. So that's just a +1 then?
But you still need a +2, but the roll, because it basically,
The roll, I mean, yeah.
if you're lining up a shot, it's opposed by their ability to pilot, to juke and jink around. But yeah, it's a -2 to the result that this goblin is going to get.
So, but basically I'm rolling pilot +1 for the aspect.
You're just rolling straight up piloting. The opponent gets a -2 to theirs to counter it.
Oh, sorry, now I get it.
No worries. Okay. I will tell you that it would have been a tie, but you invoked the aspect, which is now gone, but you invoked it, and that means you did succeed. So you can give yourself a boost of lined up just call it lined up a shot, if you want. So on your on your next turn, if you choose to take an attack against Goblin 1, you can give yourself a +2 to gunnery if you invoke it.
Right. But for now, that would be basically it, right? There's nothing else that I could for step 2.
You can always create another advantage.
Would it be possible to create an advantage for the pilot of the transport ship, that they feel sort of less hopeless, and that they're maybe getting a boost to if they have to trying to evade the attacks? Would that be possible?
That's difficult. Given that you're lining up for a shot.
If that's iffy, I would
right
say
now that would be iffy. Yeah.
Maybe just then do something like similar to Jittery, but on one of the other goblins. That they're realizing, okay, there's not just one. No, there's a second one coming out of cover. We might have a little problem here.
In this case, with you also coming out from being undetected, I will say you're going to make a roll, and it'll also be at a +2. But if you succeed, both of the goblins currently engaged in dogfighting will be jittery.
Okay. So what roll would that be?
Oh yeah, that's right. I should declare which roll you're going to make. Let's make this one... I'm going to suggest this will be provoke.
And you said +2?
Not provoke. Not provoke. Do you want to say you're firing off warning shots, maybe? Or like, ranging the target, as it were, trying to zero in on it? Because I would definitely say that they're going to get spooked if they see fire coming in close to them and getting closer and closer. Okay, so in that case, I would say make a gunnery roll by way of intimidation.
And so that was then +2? What did you just say?
Yeah, you need a +2 to succeed, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. Fake terminology will come to you, buddy.
Yikes! No.
Ooh. So, you
Wait,
can,
could I
if
spend a fate point to reroll? Is that a thing?
You have to invoke an aspect. So, what aspect would you like to invoke if you want to read it?
Oh, how does that work again? So
you basically tell me
aspect of myself.
Yeah, you tell me which of your character aspects you think would let you make a reroll, or even just you can spend a fate point to just straight up get a +2 to the roll. So you tell me which aspect of yours you think might help you in this situation, and then spend the fate point for it.
I mean, she's a combat veteran, and she's specialized on putting on the pressure. Is that enough? Or what else?
It has to be a specific aspect.
Or could it? So, but it is something that would help me, right? So to justify.
Yeah.
What about? What if they? I don't know if we have this onboard paintings for our ships. But what if we had and they recognized who I was? Would that help? Spooking them?
Is that an aspect on your character, is the question? Or like, between your high concept and the stunts and aspects is what you're looking for. Hang on, I'm sorry, I'm just going to pull up your character sheet real quick and double check what you've got. Um, da, 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 da. Yeah, so you did say your high concept here, the hero fall from who you are. You have a history with the military, and that call sign of yours, Predator, is not just a joke. You've shot down your share of Dominion pilots, and you have a unique and distinctive paint job to your Blackfish that they would recognize. So I will say, in this situation, because of the backstory you gave me, you can invoke your hero fallen from grace, because the Dominion pilots might see that paint job coming at them and think, oh, someone's gunning for redemption.
And by the way, her paint job is very simple but very effective. It just looks like 3 sort of claw marks in metal in black.
Nice.
So that fate
Wait,
point
how
is
long
gone
have these
then.
Dominion people been disappeared? Maybe they don't know that.
What makes you think these are the disappeared ones?
What?
Okay, so then I do get to roll again.
You can either roll again, or in this case, I said you just need a 2, so you can just add 2 to your roll with the fate point, and that's a success.
So what would that mean? I just roll
Basically,
2, or
yeah, when you spend a fate point, you can either re-roll or get a +2 to your roll. So it depends on. It always depends on what you need. So you can either gain a +2,
and that
or
would
if
be
you think,
enough.
all right, maybe I can succeed with style or something. You know, it's always that risk-reward system. But if you just want a safe bet right now, give it a +2,
Yeah.
and you've
Sounds
got a
good.
success. All right. So with that, both of the goblins that are currently, one of which is being targeted by Boomjockey, one of which is still chasing the unknown flyer around. You notice their movements becoming a little more erratic, a little less precise, and maybe even a little easier to target.
All right.
Teal. Oh my god.
Who
Your
smuggled the
microphone's
cat
a
on
little
board?
bit quiet.
Starfox.
An unknown voice comes from the civilian transport of, sorry, ship's crawling with the things.
Oh no, fur aliens.
It's a cat. It's a cat transport ship.
I was gonna say a cat carrier.
Yeah, protect
Cat carrier.
with any means. Yeah, I will also just fly right in. And for my step 1, I'm gonna do a snapshot against the goblin that Boomjockey already shot at.
Okay, so make a gunnery roll.
Yes. There we go.
Okay. It's a bad day for that goblin. So that was a shit roll. You have 2 shifts of success.
Nice.
So the first, you fire off a snapshot and you see it hit the shields, which flicker and then almost, you know, like when you pierce a bubble and it just kind of collapses in on itself almost. It's that sort of sensation as your sensors tell you it's down, and then you there's an immediate spark as the ship itself is hit and begins trailing some sort of, you're not sure, coolant, gas, something. It's damaged already, and the pilot knows.
Nice. Okay, then I'd like to get with step 2 create an advantage to get in between the transporter and the pursuers, to basically like be a ship shield or something. Anyone who tries to shoot the transporter instead hits me.
Okay, so you're interposing yourself as a human shield essentially.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a piloting roll, and this is gonna be opposed because you're trying to put yourself between a goblin and then the civilian ship, so they're trying to make sure that you can't do that. So it's gonna be opposed piloting checks.
Yep.
That's hang on. What's on the goblin, which is that is a clear success from you. So yeah, with some ease, because who knows, with all the fighting going on technically behind them, this particular pilot seems distracted enough, at least for a second, for you to just kind of slip in, and then as soon as it starts trying to get a target lock on the civilian ship again, you're there in the way. So we will say this is a... I'm just going to place the aspect human shield on you.
Okay.
Which can be invoked by either yourself or the civilian transport in case an attack is made on it.
Alright.
It's a risky maneuver. We'll see how it pays off.
Yeah.
Also, I just noticed that thanks to all the subs, we have unlocked another story element. So we're going to be bringing a couple more things into play. One of them is already in play. I just haven't quite named it yet. Although you're currently flying alongside it. Right. It is now the goblins' turn. The goblins can't do too much.
Hold on.
What?
I'm after the goblins?
Yeah, sorry. Your notice
But I was still in undetected. Just because I don't have high notice. It's not like I can't see them. They're right in front of me. This is bullshit.
You can see them, but they're fast.
Whatever. Sure. Fine.
Love you.
Oh, our poor baby pilot.
Oh, poor Parker.
Oh.
Too many barrel rolls.
See, there you go.
I was just like looping behind everyone.
Yeah, you have to spend a bit of time to stop being dizzy for a moment. But the goblins don't have too much else that they can do because all of you are way up in the maneuver chart, and they have no hope of getting to you. So, Goblin 1, despite being jittery, is going to make a desperate attack. This is... Yeah, this one is going to spend one of its fate points to climb in the maneuver chart, and then is going to attack the unknown ship. However, because it's a desperate attack, Goblin 1 is now also an easy target.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's desperate. It's a pretty bold move to make, and it also did not pay off because the gunnery roll, well, it's a 3. Let's see if this ship of unknown type can counter that with its piloting. No, it can't. Oops, all minuses. That's very bad. That is a lot of shifts of success. I'm gonna have the unknown ship spend its own fate point to re-roll this, invoking...
Human shield.
It's gonna invoke... Well, it's gonna invoke the jittery aspect, actually, to re-roll. So, thanks, gang. Oh my god, that's worse.
Oh god.
Worse.
It was three minuses, now it's 4.
so long, and yeah,
It's
so much for that
literally
ship.
the only way it could have
Baseball
been
again.
worse, and it got worse. So this is now interesting. It's not gone, but the shields immediately collapse, and you can see the shots. Despite everything that you've been doing, this goblin just goes for it, and the shots nail the engines. That ship has critical engine damage. It is losing power rapidly, and you know very well from your own experience as pilots, from your training and everything, that the pilot will need to either do emergency repairs or eject. There's really no
Get
other
out and
choices
push.
left at this point. Well, that's difficult in a vacuum. That sucked.
Gonna throw some duct
For
tape
that
through the
one pilot.
airlock.
Oh boy. Yeah, if you can shoot some duct tape onto it, I'm sure that'll just fix it right up.
Hey, we
Nice.
can do a rescue phase. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Goblin 2, who was involved with trying to take down the ship, but now has 2 others to worry about, is going to try to create an advantage. It's going to evasive maneuvers. So, who is Predator? You are the one trying to get a target lock on this. You're in fact the one who's got the boost of lining up a shot. It's basically trying to go evasive and break away from your targeting. So I need you to make a piloting roll. Again, this is opposed, so
So just
it's
straight
trying
up
to
piloting?
essentially, yeah, just straight up piloting. It's trying to break away from you. You can, if you wish, invoke the jittery aspect for a -2 on it.
Is that the Goblin 1?
That's Goblin 2.
Okay. Never mind. Yeah, I'm going to evoke that jittery aspect.
Okay.
So pilot +1.
That is in this case, that is a success. So, or rather, your success, which means the goblin fails. It is not going to succeed at a cost. It is instead going to use its next action to try and tactically refocus. That's... These people are rolling for shit. I'm just going to be very honest. These people cannot roll to save their lives. Stays right where it is. And the third goblin is going to think, well, all right, I have someone here presenting themselves to me as a lovely target, so it's going to use its full phase to get on your target, Teal, or to get on your tail.
We'll see them try.
Well, oh wait, no, it cannot get on your tail because you're above in the... What am I thinking? You know what? Is it instead? It's instead going to try to position itself in front of the civilian ship to try and go head to head with it. So it's going to try to break away from you. And create an advantage of... I don't know quite what to call it. I'm just going to call it head to head.
Ahead of the curve.
Yes. So I was gonna say I'm gonna put this at a +3 because it's a little more difficult It is not going to make that because it only rolled a 1. Because again, these are rolling for shit. I was gonna say I should get different dice, but these are all the fate dice I've got, so...
We should also roll and roll 20. It seems to be more forgiving.
Right? But then you'd all see, which doesn't actually matter because I tell you all the results anyway, but... in this case, no, it does...
The power.
The pilot does not make it, just... You're jinking and juking around, and the pilot eventually realizes if they shoot out in front of you, you're just gonna shoot, and that's bad. That's not what you want. You're also getting closer and closer with this combat to the actual defensive perimeter of Draconis, and you can see 2 wings of your fellow volunteer group squad mates flying up to meet you. You reckon that in pretty short time they're going to be here mixing it up as well. So as long as you hold out another, in game terms, another round of combat, you should be home safe. If you can keep these 2 ships alive until then.
No need to rush this. Let's savor this fight.
That's one way to approach it. Starfox!
Yeah! I'm gonna use my full turn to do a rescue phase. I'm gonna just do a really, tight spin to get between, where the defensive ship was that just exploded and the attacking goblin, so that I can pick up the pilot, and then just, duck out of there.
Okay. Yeah, right, I forgot to take that pilot's action, but yeah, it's fair. That pilot would have absolutely
what was he
ejected
gonna do
because
while
the
he
ship...
was, ejecting into space?
The ship is gone. It's in the middle of a dogfight. The only choice is to eject. It's generally a thing that ejected pilots are not fired upon, unless you really, really have a grudge against somebody. But
I'm still gonna pick him up.
yeah, you know that even in the Dominion. Yeah, I was gonna say you know that even in the Dominion, people are court-martialed for firing on unarmed pilots in a fight, so that's... so yeah, you can safely pick up 1 person, which you are doing. So move yourself down 2 slots in the maneuver chart, so put yourself at the 8 mark. And that... That is the turn. All right. At this point, the unknown ship loses power and just starts drifting in space. So I'm going to move this one down to special where it belongs because it is no longer really in the maneuver chart. It's just, one engine flames out, the other one puts it into a spin and then flames out as well, and then it's just it's got a bit of forward momentum and just spinning wildly around, and you're thinking, I've been in that kind of centrifuge and I don't want to. And you can see why that pilot punched out. Everyone else, please take yourselves down 1 slot in the maneuver chart. Oh wait, hang on, I forgot to say, Goblin 3 would have done a tactical refocus. And that actually works out because that puts it here in the chart. Now, Starfox, you're to 7 because you lost 2 just from your action. Alright. The cargo ship keeps on flying. You hear, specifically you, Teal... Well, no, actually, it's broadcasting on an open frequency, so you all hear a sort of, oh, thanks for giving me an extra set of shields there, followed by another brief, meow. Pipe down, will you?
Haley would go, we have to save the cat.
Yep. That's so true.
Teal, you have the highest notice, so...
Okay, I'm really feline this fight. Okay.
Please place the aspect penitentiary on yourself.
Does my ship explode now?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Was nice, friends. Goodbye. Death by pun. Alright. So the ship didn't actually get ahead of us, right?
No.
So, alright.
The civilian ship is still out front. All the fighting is happening behind it.
Yeah. Okay. I am doing a snapshot once again on the ship that was fired on twice, and I lost its shield, I think, already, right?
If you do that, you would have to give up your position as a shield. Like, at the moment, you're keeping position between... You're basically facing the civilian ship to keep yourself there. If you want to take a shot, you'd have to disengage from that portion of combat. So you
don't worry, Teal, I got it.
Alright.
I mean, is there any chance you could provide suppressive fire from your position to just evoke another aspect or something?
An advantage.
You can always.
I think the problem is that I'm facing the cargo ship, so if I want to shoot, I would have to turn. Okay, so.
But you can do that. You just wouldn't be a shield anymore. But you can, of course, just get on the tail of the one behind you.
Yeah, but then it could fire on the thing again. Could I, maintain my position behind the ship, but create an... I don't know if this is still an advantage, but keep an eye out for the ship if it tries to get to the front again, that I then get into the way, that I basically stay ready to block it if it tries to fly past us again.
So that would be creating an advantage. Make me a notice check. I'll set this difficulty at a +2.
So, okay.
So just roll it and...
Boom.
Wow. Success with style. Yeah, you reckon, the moment it tries anything, you're ready for it. If it moves forward even a moment, you can just hit the brakes, let it overshoot, and fire.
Alright.
This is unorthodox, but I'm the GM, so I'm allowing myself to do it.
Huh.
Normally, you'd only be able to take an attack as part of the first step, but because you succeeded with style, this is your...
Oh, I actually didn't intend to fire it just to, as soon as it wants to...
This is what I'm doing. So, basically... As soon as it maneuvers, if it tries to attack the civilian ship, I will allow you to take a free shot at it.
Okay.
That because you rolled so fantastically well, I'm gonna essentially give you the aspect of waiting to pounce, which you can invoke to make a free snapshot.
Ooh, nice. I've been waiting so long for this moment.
There you go.
Thank you.
So that is you. That's the advantage created. You still have another step, but I'm not sure what else you could do, really.
Yeah, it's fine. I focus all my concentration on this.
All right. Predator, you're up next.
Could you repeat real quick what the status of the goblins? I can see now the labeling on the screen, 3, 1, and 2.
Yeah, so Goblin 1 is the one that's already been damaged. Goblin 2 was involved in the dogfight, seems to be in the goblins 2 and 3 seem to be fine. Goblin 1 is already hurt and trailing some kind of smoke or vapors.
Okay. And which was the one that's closest to Shirin?
Goblin 2 is the one that you've got in your sights.
Okay.
And it still has the
Then-
jittery aspect. No, wait, you invoked that. Never mind, it doesn't have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would like to then... So in order to be able to attack them, and if I don't want it to be a desperate attack, I would have to get on, like if I'm going after the highest goblin on the in sort of in stage 6, like goblin 3, would I have to get on its tail first in order to attack?
Nope.
Cool.
You can... Getting on its tail would give you a bonus, but you don't have to. You can stay at your point in the maneuver chart and then just take a snapshot.
Okay, then I'm... No, actually I would like to get up close and personal and maybe create an advantage by spooking that one a little bit.
Which one's Goblin 2? You want to spook that one?
No, the 3, the highest that's in it's like the level
Okay.
6.
Okay. How do you want to spook it?
By getting uncomfortably close. Sort of almost getting on top of it.
Okay, so essentially just flying right into the fight and more or less almost landing on it.
Yep.
That's alright, that's difficult. That's gonna be you would give up having Goblin 2 in your sights. But yeah, if you want to do that, make me a piloting roll. And it's going to be opposed actually by the notice roll, because this one is kind of focused on Teal at the moment. So it's going to basically be a case of if it notices you early enough, it can get away.
Wasn't
but if
that
not?
2 that was on on Teal?
No, that's 3. Sorry. Let me just move this. I'm just going to move this one to be right under Teal so that...
Got it.
I'm going to move you... Sorry, but I'm going to move you above the one that you're in line with to make that just a little more visual.
Okay. Okay, so just straight up piloting then, right?
Yep.
Oh, frick me.
Well, let's see how this notice roll goes.
Oh badly.
That's a tie.
Mhm.
So, in the case of a tie, let's see. You get what you want, but at a minor cost. So I will say that you do get uncomfortably close. Uncomfortable for both of you as you realize that you're close enough. Your shields. Yeah, it's basically that sort of like, except instead of physical contact, your shields just bounce off each other. There's a burst of static. Both of you lose a point in your shields, so you take 1 stress on your shields, and this goblin is definitely spooked. Very definitely.
Yeah,
It is going to make a mistake on its turn.
Haley say sort of on the team comms like, oh, sorry baby, that was a bit rough.
Oh boy.
That was kind of risky. I approve.
All right.
I pretend to
And on
not
that-
have heard that.
Nice. And yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna say that Goblin 3 is freaked out. That's the aspect.
Awesome.
You do have another step left, so you can either create another advantage or pass it on to Boomjockey if you want. Although, given I will say, given the way you described this one, I actually want to say this probably takes your full phase, because this was more or less getting right on someone's tail to.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I can't really think of anything else to,
all right.
to do right now.
Boomjockey.
I am going to get on Goblin 3's tail.
Okay.
Invoke my stunt one-shot, one-kill once more, because it's the first time I target a target. And I'm going to call on Freaked Out.
Okay. So you get a +2, and it gets a -2.
I get a +4.
That's, yeah. Oh, so you're...
on the tail gives me +2, and one-shot, one-kill, another +2.
Yeah, you can go on tail. Go for it. So you get a +4. Oh boy, this is gonna be dangerous.
Beautiful.
That's 3 minuses, which
beautiful.
for this goblin means you have 6 shifts of success.
Oh my god.
Your aspect here truly happens. You take a single pinpoint shot, and between, like, you watch as predators' shields scrape, and then, you know, she peels off. The pilot at this point is trying to, it just like almost slows down to a crawl, trying to figure out, okay, do I go here, do I go here? If I go this way, the one in front is gonna shoot. This one almost just crashed into me. What the fuck is going on? And in that moment where it's just almost frozen in space, you just line it up, hit the trigger, and poof! Because of course sound carries in space, duh.
Of course. We all know that.
There's a bright flash, and then almost immediately it implodes into itself as the remnants of this thing, within a second, are just flying past you. The speeds you're traveling at, it's ridiculous. But yeah, you hit it right in the engine. You detonated its power core pretty much immediately. With that
Nice
kind of
one,
setup.
Phil.
Thank you for that opening, Predator.
Smooth.
You're welcome.
Goblin 3 is out. Goblin 1 and 2 are going to bug out. Because
Wise choice.
their flight may just
started to get
exploded.
interesting.
We just need to play.
And they can also see on their sensors now several more flights of fighters incoming. They just turn tail and jet the heck out of there, because they also know they're Dominion fighters, and if they're caught here, not only are they prisoners of war, but their commanding officers probably wouldn't want them to be prisoners very long, one way or another. They should not be here in the first place. Who knows why they're here? You might find out soon. The civilian ship is requesting a landing at the nearest station, port, wherever it can set down, which you know to be the actual Draconis station.
Is it
which is in
possible
orbit around planet
for?
Draconis.
Is it possible for us now that the goblins have crawled back to their hole? Can we maybe somehow try to tow the damaged fighter ship back to base?
Not with your
Didn't it
fighters,
burn?
but they will send a salvage ship. Like, you know how Draconis works. They have salvage ships, so if anything's left floating in space, they'll pick it up and tug it in. It'll take a little bit longer than yourselves to make it back, but if it's still intact, it'll be brought back.
What I'll do is fire back to mission control the coordinates, last known position for it.
All right, that's excellent. In that case, at this point, I think it is prudent to take a quick break. Let's stretch, hydrate, take a quick bio, make sure we're in fit shape to carry on. That means for those in chat, which, by the way, thank you so much for the retweets, for the subs. We've met several goals, so one element's been introduced. I've got another story element to drop in at the moment, and a boon that will come into play for the players soon enough.
Did we
But
get
yeah,
Bane?
well, you get the Bane at 30 retweets, which is, we're 5 away, so 5 more retweets on that go live tweet, and I get to do something fun. So in the meantime, everyone in chat, also take care of yourselves, hydrate, have a sip, and we'll be back in, shall we say 10 minutes? Let's say 10 minutes.
Sounds good.
See you.
them the best you've got.
And that brings us back. So, I hope you're all stretched. I hope you're all watered. I am going to keep drinking even more water because there's never enough hydration going on in our lives. Let's face it. And it's summer. At least it's summer in some places. It's winter in other places, and other places are just equatorial. So, frankly, I miss those. I miss those places. But our pilots have intercepted. Let's not call it a convoy. I think that would be too generous.
Space truck.
A surprising anomaly, which turned out to be a cargo ship and a fighter of unknown design emanating from the Tuwanye system, from which no ship has ever returned. The Dominion fighters that were on their tails were intercepted. Boomjockey gets to paint another silhouette because you got the kill. Doesn't matter who set it up, only the kill counts. Several other of your Draconis volunteer groups, Draconis volunteer group pilots have flown up to meet you, and you're being escorted to the actual shipyard, the dock of Draconis Station, a large space station in orbit around the actual the main planet. Oh my god! Around the main planet, Draconis. Yes. You have the cargo ship flying ahead of you. It seems to have, in having a few moments to spare where it wasn't being shot at, they seem to have managed to put out the fires to make sure that they aren't going to suddenly break apart at the seams and are guiding their ship in safely. Starfox, you in your rescue compartment, which is itself not the most comfortable of spaces. You all know this. In some training exercises, you've had to climb into one of those to practice being rescued. You're essentially
more comfortable than being dead, okay?
It's definitely more comfortable than being dead, definitely more comfortable than sitting in a vacuum and hoping for the 1 in 1,000 at best chance that someone might actually catch you. But you're essentially picked up in a scoop, and you have to sit there as if you're in a sleeping bag, not allowed to move side to side even. But heck, you've got air and you're heated. What more could you want, right? You do, however, have communication with this individual, and so we're gonna get into Starfox cockpit for a moment as you, through this one-way, or rather two-way communication, you suddenly hear a voice just coming on and saying, "Thanks for the save. Who are you, and what is this place?"
Yeah, no problem, bud. We're in the Draconic section. We're right at the end of the neutral zone, actually. So, hey, I have a question for you.
I want to say shoot, but please don't.
What year is it?
I don't know. I don't know who you are. I don't recognize your emblems. I don't know who was chasing us. I don't really know anything. I can explain more when we did Did my companion survive?
What, like the cat?
What?
Oh, you mean the
Well,
other ship? Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it
Like,
has cats
no
on
problem.
board.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we just took care of the goblins, and
The what?
well, I mean, we took care of one of the goblins, and the other two left.
I'm sorry. The
But
what?
oh,
Now?
those ships that were like pursuing you, right?
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So like we drove two of them off, and like one of them got shot down, and I picked you up, obviously, and yeah, like the other ships are fine. They're being escorted back to the station, so you're all set, baby.
Why are you calling them goblins? That's pretty insulting. I mean, okay, they're your enemies, but
Goblin's just the name of the ship.
oh, I see. I see. Okay, I'm learning. This is all very new to me. I'll
Yeah,
explain
like
more.
sorry, your ship
Yeah.
looked a lot like ours though. I mean, these are an old model, but like
Wait, yours are an old model?
yeah, just like yeah, what year is it for you?
We have
Okay,
our
like,
own
okay.
reckoning.
I know this doesn't make a lot of sense, but I just want to let you know that like you just came out of a patch of space that like nobody's ever come out of from before. And the legend is that like the first ship to go in was like a small transport ship. So like I just, you know, you believe in like weird phenomena.
You know, you're onto something more than you might think. But I'm not permitted to explain. Well,
Oh.
okay, I'm
Oh,
permitted
okay,
to,
like
I'm
it's
permitted to explain, but I would like to explain the same thing only once, at least
okay.
for now.
I'm gonna get on comms. Squat, I gotta tell you, I'm really excited about today. Today's is the beginning of a new adventure. We're gonna have a good time. Do you all believe in strange phenomena?
Depends
It's like
on how
unexplained
strange.
phenomenon.
I think that everything can be explained in one way or another.
Okay, well, I think we're gonna have something fun to figure out an explanation for. Okay. My God, I'm excited, you guys.
I haven't heard you that excited in a while. But good job, everybody.
You did.
I really want to talk to the people in you know that little ship and the big ship. I gotta say I'm infinitely curious to who they are.
Not sure we can call dibs on them, but pretty sure we'll find out sooner or later.
That's true.
All right. You fly on back. It's a safe flight. You dock. The mechanics come on, get you out of your ships. They get the rescued pilot out from your rescue scoop, Starfox, which is technically also a cargo scoop, depending on how you use it, but for the sake of decency, let's call it a rescue scoop at the moment. And you all are almost immediate. Like you notice that the docking station at the moment is quiet. A lot of personnel have been cleared off, as it were. Normally there would be a lot of more hustle and bustle, but it's literally just you and your mechanics and a lot of military police. And shortly after you, the cargo ship also comes in, sits down on a platform not far away. You are asked pretty immediately just to stay put for the moment and await further instructions. The unknown pilot who's been taken out of Starfox ship is immediately surrounded, not aggressively, but more out of precaution, just a sort of, we have no idea who or what you are, what you've been doing here. You might be Dominion. We don't know what's going on. So just, they're watching out for everything. And as the cargo ship lands, as the rest of the pilots, by the way, you are not landing. They were sent up to meet you, and they seem to have stayed out there and are now also flying their own cap, just to make sure that there isn't going to be any other incursion or something of the sort. So, the cargo ship lands, and from it disembarks one person carrying a bundle of fur. Well, less carrying and more being a platform for it to walk around and, climb and crawl. Your commanding officer, a relatively, usually very quiet and reserved person. Her name is Cosima. Call sign Thunder. She walks up, looks at you, glances briefly at the cargo ship and the person approaching from it, motions for you all to step closer, motions for the MPs to bring the other pilot closer, and as soon as you're within earshot, says, "Am I? You've certainly stirred up a bit of attention today. What'd you find out there?"
Well, it wasn't so much stirring from our part and more like them running straight into our arms, really.
Well, who are these punks and where'd they come from?
From where technically they shouldn't be coming from. Tachyon System.
What, Dominion? Tuwanye? You shitting me?
No, we're
Wish
not.
I
I
were.
double-checked our sensors.
Definitely came right out of there.
There were 3 goblins
Alright.
on the tail of the transporter.
That's disturbing. That's disturbing in several ways. Starfox, calm down, will you? We'll get to the bottom of this, but relax a little first, will you?
Yeah, it definitely appeared to be important.
Sir, yes, sir.
There. And not at all because we were bored and wanted to fight again. So you're welcome.
Teal, what have I told you about seeking trouble where it doesn't need to be? So, you know what? We're going to pull your sensor logs. Debriefing room 3 now. Bring that one too, and that one, and you just see in the distance, if you turn to look, you can see the nearest MPs just immediately surround the cargo pilot and kind of gently but firm, in a bit of an oxymoron, gently but firmly escorting them forward.
Quick question, if I may.
Yeah.
This Cosima Thunder, how much older is she, and sort of on what kind of footing are the 2 of us, would you say?
She's
So I'm
younger
about to say
than
something.
You.
Oh.
But if you want to determine that yourself, you can spend a fate point and just declare. And your fate points refresh every session, so if you've got them.
Yeah, I'm using one, and I would say,
Okay.
I would say we are on good standing, But
Professional.
I know that she is overplaying her status because of insecurities, and she knows that I know, but I've never taken advantage of it.
Okay.
And so before they're leaving, she would just sort of step up to her, sort of in passing, say, easy there yourself, Thunder. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's all good. We're chill. Alright, let's get you into the briefing room and we'll see what they have to say and we'll see what you have to say and we'll see how it all lines up and
Are you
figure out what
alright?
to make of this story.
You look like
I'm
it's
a
been a
little
day and a half for you.
confused. No, it's not that so much as... When's the last time you saw Dominion ships actually come into our system? We're all a bit rattled down here. Come on, debriefing, now.
Yes, sir.
If it was up to me, they could come more often.
Good thing it's not up to you, Teal.
I've heard that before.
How's the post-it note collection going, Shirin?
Yeah, I need to buy a new stack.
Got you covered. Sort of reaches into her back pocket and pulls out.
Thank you. I know I can always count on you. Just put it in one of my many cargo pants pockets.
If it means that I don't need to spray friend all over my ship, it's good for me.
Yeah, just don't change your paint job, and I will remember.
By the way,
Probably.
Boomjockey, I totally blame you for my busted shields. Clearly, I've been hanging out with
That's
you for
why.
way
It's
too
that
long.
influence.
Yeah. Hey, but you can see it that way, or you can see it as it was that influence drove you to create the perfect opening for my shot.
Oh, it did.
I appreciate it.
And I think I'll call it the pounds. And with that, she walks to the debriefing room.
As I said, I approve.
Alright. You make your way into the room. As soon as you're in, and as soon as the newcomers, the strangers, are also in, the MPs step outside the door because now there's you four and Thunder in the room. So if anyone tries anything, you're all pilots, but you have at least received basic hand-to-hand training. Some of you more extensive than others. So they figure, if anyone's going to try anything, you could at the very least last long enough to call for the MPs to intervene if need be.
Yeah, we're just all gonna pile on them.
Yeah, there you go.
As far as
Just
that
overwhelm
strategy
them
goes.
by sheer weight of bodies. Yeah. You're all each directed to a seat. There's a mostly circular table, except like one side of the circle has been slightly cut off. There's a slightly straight edge where Cosima is sitting. She looks at the four of you and the two others who are sitting side by side and glancing at each other somewhat nervously because they've just had a lot of guns pointed their way. You can see from the looks of them, they're wearing flight suits. Even the cargo pilot is actually wearing a flight suit that you would normally expect to see in a fighter pilot. The two of them are somewhat nervous. They look as human as any of you. And Cosima doesn't really waste any time, just glares right at them and goes, "Where are you two from? And what the hell brought you to Draconis?" They just glance a little, and it's the cargo pilot who speaks first and goes, It's a long story. But are you familiar with the Tuwanye system?
Are we familiar?
I'll say we are familiar.
Cosimo just kind of sighs and goes, I've heard the stories. I'm not sure what you mean by stories, but
I can fill you in real quick.
it's... all right, what stories do they say about us?
Nothing that goes in comes back out. And there's been mounting
That's true.
evidence over the last couple of centuries that anything that goes in doesn't come back out. Until you came out.
That's all true.
Mm-hmm. Well, but I mean, you're out now, so...
We are out, and there's a good reason for it. Tuwanye system, our system, is a binary system. We've got a red dwarf and a blue giant, and a fuckload of asteroid belts that are
No, not more asteroids.
disproportionately high in ferrite content. And that ferrite content creates the worst magnetic fields you've ever seen. Now, you're lucky if you can make it through those. If you get past them, you get into the interior of the solar system, and then you get to a habitable planet, which we call home. Those of us who survived, well, none of us actually survived the trips. Our ancestors did. The colony ship was the first to come through, badly damaged, but they made it through. And they settled on the planet, and bit by bit, every now and then, something else drifted in. Sometimes just a wreckage, sometimes just survivors, sometimes functional ships. With every little bit, we had a wee bit more tech to work with, and well, we've built ourselves a nice little society there. I don't know who you are or what you're affiliated with. Last we heard, there was a republic and something else, but frankly, I'm not exactly a star pupil myself. So I know how to fly ships, but anything that goes on around here in this solar system or whatnot, you'll have to fill me in some other time. But we were founded originally by people hailing from the Republic, and it's to the Republic that some of us would like to return. And more importantly, last we heard, the Republic was expanding, so we built up a bit of a war chest, you see. We've got a bit of an emergency, if you will, on our planet. Couple of fighters, couple of corvettes, enough to defend our system should need be. Although you seem severely understaffed. How many fighters have you got?
Enough.
Thunder
Why
just
did you
immediately
decide
leans
to
over
come
and
out?
goes, "You're not getting our numbers from us. I don't even know if you're not Dominion."
Oh, to be fair,
Hey.
Dominion was shooting at them.
Yeah.
Oh, you've never heard of a ruse, Teal?
I mean, all due respect, Commander, all due respect. They nearly killed that one and blew up their ship.
Yeah, we had one
That
pilot
seems
ejecting.
seems a bit hardcore for a ruse.
Haley looks at the pilot and just repeats a question. I understood. I get your story so far, but what exactly happened that made you leave?
It's
And where
not so much
exactly did
that
you pick up the Dominion fighters?
well, it's not so much that we were made to leave. We just finally had the opening. We've been studying the asteroid belts and the magnetic fields for about the last few decades, waiting for an opening, and we know that now. For the next 5 months, you can get in and you can get out if you know the path. The moment we got out, we flew into what I guess it was just an unlucky chance. There's a patrol out there, and they saw us leave, and not sure what exactly they had planned with us, but weren't too friendly. So we shot one of them down, and the others didn't take too kindly to that. So gave chase and plotted for the nearest escape route, and that just, well, I guess lucky we ran into you, eh?
Yeah, it was really boring. Really lucky.
So here's the thing.
Question: Is it possible to create an aspect on this scene simply by the fact that we, as us four, seem to be friendly or sort of willing to listen to them, so that they're a bit more open to us? I mean,
You could roll for that. In this case, I would say if you're trying to create a friendly atmosphere and make yourselves be a little more trustworthy and forthcoming, I would like an empathy roll.
yeah, my eventual goal was to sort of get a feeling for how much of what they're saying is true, or just a feeling of if they're holding something back, something critical.
That's also an empathy roll. So if you want to do that, just basically roll me an empathy. You need a +2 to succeed. And you will have probably already noticed that a +2 is sort of your average difficulty. 3, that's a success. You're a pilot, and you've been a pilot for quite a while. You are a pretty good judge of characters, and you can tell both of these two who are sitting across from you, they carry themselves and they speak and they act the way a pilot would. Even just the way they immediately sat down here and took up positions across from the commanding officer, they are pilots through and through. Nothing of what they're saying betrays any hint of hesitation, or there's no hesitation. There's also no sense of carefully stepping around words. They're just laying it out. There's no dancing around the truth, where you know that if someone would choose their words very carefully, the kind of people who very deliberately plan out every sentence, those are the kind of people where you think, all right, you've got maybe something to hide, but they're just talking. They're having a conversation. And, well, you saved their lives and you seem to be pretty good. So it's that sort of mutual pilot respect as well that's going on. So
I look to Kotawa and go, may I ask a question of our guests?
Go for it, Phil.
I mean, as we saw your little bundle of joy there, the little cat. We even heard the cat. And your friend here.
Yeah.
Are there more people on that ship, or did you leave them? Or what I'm trying to ask is, are there people left back home?
What, you mean on the ship, or...?
On the planet, on the system?
Oh, right, on the system. There's a lot of us. I mean, we've got a couple of cities.
I'm
You know,
guessing not
enough industry
everyone wants.
to build a few things.
I'm guessing not everyone wanted to come back and rejoin the Republic.
Well, it's more the fact that we didn't really know if this route was safe enough, so we drew the short straw, as it were.
So
And
you're
you
the
risk the
scouts,
cat's
basically.
life.
The cat's a piece of good luck. If you're flying out for discovery, you take a cat with you. Never fails. Hasn't failed today, has it? Brought you to me.
I can agree with that one.
Right.
Alright.
So
Always
here's
fly
the
with the
deal.
cat. Got it.
I get the feeling how I'm gonna regret asking this, given how very clearly out well it looks around and goes, I mean no offense by this, but given how very clearly out understaffed you are here, the war's not going well, is it?
Technically, the war's over.
What
More
do you
or
mean the
less.
war is over?
What? Oh,
Ceasefire.
this is just a neutral zone, like.
Wait, there's neutral
yeah,
zones
like,
now?
The entire Draconis
Right,
system
that
is a
is-
neutral zone.
Well, like, in
So-
theory, just like nobody really wanted Draconis.
That just like people
Hang
got
on.
tired on both sides.
I guess I can understand that. Just this, the way our ancestors wrote the histories, it's that there was always war of some sort or another. There's always conflict. There's always expansion and claims and annexation and fighting over it. So we thought we were going to be walking into a fight.
You
Well,
did.
you technically did.
Also,
Right,
neutral
but
is just
more of-
short for
Really?
neutralize, so
Yeah, but
Yeah.
more of
means
like-
nothing.
What, the four of you were a scout group, a combat patrol? Tell me you're not a combat patrol.
Yeah, we're definitely a patrol
Uh,
of some
uh,
kind.
Haley would have elbowed Starfox before she was able to finish her sentence there.
Right,
Because well, she has sort of picked up that they're honest, but there's still no reason to give away everything here.
they just kind of look and go, yeah, a combat patrol where we come from is 2 full squadrons.
we're just that good. We only need 4.
Yeah.
We might have. So when I said we had a small little force to defend our system with, I get the feeling I may have understated our hand.
Oh, like 'cause
See,
you
we
expected
were-
to
we
walk
were
into
gonna-
war. Yeah, that makes sense.
We
Oh,
were
is
gonna
this so? Now
join the
there's a
Republic.
sudden new society with a huge asset in soldiers.
Haley
they
shooting a
could
rather
Immediately a
tense
bidding
side
war on
look
both sides.
at Cosima.
Well, you see, when those other fighters first approached us, we thought they were Republic. At least they claimed to be before they started shooting at us, and that's when we were clued in that maybe they're not. And we might have told them too much.
Define too much.
Yeah, Tiffin did get away.
They might be aware that there's a way into our system now.
Oh,
And
well,
I think
like,
that's when
fine, we
they
just have to
tried.
guard it,
But not
right?
where the entry is.
Right, that's why getting the cargo ship here was important, because that's got all the data and the algorithms you'll need for calculating through the magnetic fields. Now, I'll present to you. Wait, are you Republic?
No, we're
You,
the
you said
neutral
Draconis
middle.
and neutral zone. Oh, right. I'm not authorized to tell you what a present is.
You can already have tipped both of your hands, buddy. And we, sorry to say, but we did kind of save your ass.
Yeah, like that
Well,
definitely
one
happened.
of you was literally floating around in space.
Haley's also looking to Cosima to step up. Kind of surprised that she hasn't said anything in a while.
Kozima's just kind of looking at you with that expression of, you're doing well.
Lazy.
That, and like, leans in a little closer to to Haley, and goes, "Hey, you're the ones who saved them. I'm not gonna step on your toes right now. They're singing."
Oh, what an easy way out in case all of this backfires. I'll remember that, of course.
Hey, hey.
And I look at the other three and go,
And
my
she
friends are
brings
saying.
you in close again and says, "If it works, you get the credit. Just remember that too."
Mm-hmm.
Can we hear this exchange?
You can't
We're
hear
all
the
gonna
words,
remember.
but you've seen this similar sort of thing happen often enough that you know there's a bit of a butting of heads happening.
I basically get from the look that, yeah, we're on our own on this one.
Mm. And you actually, Phil, because you were trying to, coax a little more out of them, I would like you to make me a rapport check. See what kind of rapport you've established with them, and see if you can get them to.
That is not gonna work. Did we manage to create that aspect? Can I call that one?
No, because what that turned into was Haley trying to read them rather than creating
Okay.
aspects. So.
Okay.
The good news is I have excellent rapport, and I did save one of the pilots.
Well, you can also give it a try then. But first, let's see how Boomjockey does.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I have nothing
Let me guess. It's not your greatest stat.
It's not my worst, but it's not.
Well,
Oh.
Ooh.
ooh, you needed better than that. So you can succeed at a cost if you want.
I'll take it.
That's the beauty of. What do you think would be a reasonable cost here?
Why don't you let me try?
Let me try, please.
Helpful.
Let me.
You know what? No, I don't think I don't think I will succeed. I think I stumble over my words and seem a bit too eager.
Yeah. Just the rapidity of your questioning kind of makes them back off a little bit. Like,
yeah. Come on, a bit too strong there.
Yeah.
I just succeed. Like I just fail.
Yeah, sorry about that. Listen, what Boomjockey was trying to ask you is just like, we're clearly on the same side here. We just wanted to protect you. So, like, we're in a neutral zone right now. Let's not worry about all the politics that are going on. We're not at war right now. So let's just focus on what you need, okay? What do you need from us? We'll report.
Go, roll for it. You need a +2.
If it's minus one, I'm gonna win.
You tie, so you succeed, but there's a minor cost. The minor cost is simply that the one you saved gives you, like, it's sort of like a squinty look. That's sort of because is now kind of thinking, wait, are you really trying to exploit saving my life? Like, are you really pulling that card? But at the same time, it's the look of that's not cool, but also fair. Uh, you reckon you might have what initial goodwill you had earned with this person, you might have just spent it. But they both look at you, and for once, the cargo pilot kind of sits back and tries to calm their cat a little bit. The one you rescued, she actually stands up at this point, which is makes it clear that she's not actually the tallest of individuals. Surprisingly enough, given most starfighter pilots, you need to be of a certain height just to be able to, make sure you reach all the controls. But she's actually quite short, about just stands about just under 5 feet tall, and in a moment of surprising military crispness, stands at attention and goes, "We of the Tuwanye system would like to formally petition to join the High Republic with our fleet of 144 starfighters. There are 5 months before the pathways between the magnetic fields close again. That is the time we have to open our vault and guide our ships to safety without being destroyed along the way. Given that you are not the Republic, and that the Dominion has clearly found us, we do not even have those 5 months. You are pilots. You understand when a mission is critical. Help us with this, and perhaps we will consider Draconis instead."
At this point, Haley smirks and just shakes her head a little and says, "Well, one thing's for sure. You may not have jumped into the middle of a war, but you might be at the brink of starting another one." She gives another look at Cosima.
Yeah, I'm not too versed in politics, but the Republic accepting you guys come in with a bunch of fighters might not look too good for the whole ceasefire thing.
I'm not too good at politics either. I'm better at flying. I'll leave the results to the politicians. But we want our ships out, and you, well, I guess you've just volunteered to help us. Isn't that right? And she stares actually past you towards Cosima, who grins, looks at the 4 of you and goes, "Pilots of Tachyon Squadron, I guess you have a new mission."
Okay.
And that's
Haley
what we're
looks
going
at-
to call it for tonight.
Because he looks at Starfox. You excited yet, kid? Just gonna get better from here.
No more petrol runs.
I
That-
need to make a call.
That is where we're going to leave the session for tonight. Which brings us
That's
to outros. So I'm going to just ask everyone real quick. Before we do outros, I'm just going to say one last thing. Thank you to the chat for all of the retweets, all of the sub goals. There's one story aspect that unfortunately I didn't get the time to add into play day, but I'll bring that in next week. The first one was the experimental fighter, which, yeah, we'll see. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the session. I hope you and chat had a wonderful time. And I want to hear from my cast. I want to hear, once again, let's say, tell me who you are, what have you got going on, where can we find you, and what did you think, or, what was your favorite moment of the session? I want to hear that.
Who starts?
No, yeah,
Should
right. I
I?
should say who starts. Let's do in reverse order. Zane, you go first.
Oh no. Yes, hello. I am Zane. You can find me on Twitch as Sword and Quill. I do all sorts of gaming, but my main shows are also tabletop RPG, actual plays. So if that's your jam, which should be because you're here, check that out. I really enjoyed this, but I'm also very excited because I'm forever DM, so this whole not knowing everything and being a player is so new and exciting. But it was really cool. I can't even say what my favorite part was because both the combat was really exciting to see how we all just wing just like tactics, everyone on their own kind of like character style, and it like all smoothly worked out. And then also the interrogation was basically the equivalent but with talking, and like it felt really that as if we prepared how the characters interact with each other before, but we didn't do that much, and it was really like felt really fun to be in it and follow it. Yes.
I'm glad to hear it. Petra.
Hello, I'm Petra. You can find me on Twitter. I'm quite active there. This is currently my only streamed game, so next week, same spot, same time, I'll be here as Haley Predator again. But I'm also writing games, and if you'd like to take a look at those, you can find them at petrav.itch.io. Got a couple of games going there, and this was exciting. I'm very excited to be in this game because Battlestar Galactica, the remake, is one of my all-time favorites. So going into space, being a cool fighter pilot, this is awesome. And I absolutely agree with what Zane said. I really enjoyed seeing how all of us, like we all fell into different, like into our characters, but also immediately created a kind of synergy and sort of working with each other. And I think it was quite believable that we've known, at least some of us have known each other for some time. We've done some flights together, so I really like that. Oh, and I'm looking forward to more headbutting with Cosima next time I get the chance.
That may in fact happen, yeah.
There may or
Void.
may not be secret betting from the others in the squad.
Hi everyone, I'm VoidCat. You can find me at VoidCat Gaming on Twitter and Twitch. I stream Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday at 2 Pacific. My time right now it's 1:53, so I would be starting in 7 minutes. You can find me here on Wednesdays, but also starting next week in 3 hours. What time is it? 4 hours from now, I would be doing a Star Trek game. So come see me for that. I'll remind you next week.
Remind us next week. Isn't
My
Chrome in
favorite
that one as
part-
well?
Chrome is in that one, and so is Jen, actually. I stole both of them
Fantastic.
like a thief. And so is Devin from Total Party Chill, Keith from Total Party Chill, and Jake from Q Times.
Mr.
Jake's still
Jake.
here. So that's going to be very exciting. My favorite part of today was when we overheard Dice Cat, and all of us were immediately like, yes, the cat is part of the game now. Sorry, that was canon. That was in-universe. You can't stop it.
That, by the way, was literally the cat yowling to get in here, my fiance letting her in the room, her wandering in and immediately going back to the door and going, "I've been a prisoner."
But of course, I have
This
to say I'm
does
very
not
worried
sound
about
like cat
that,
behavior.
about all the cats being on board. Haley does not approve.
The cats
No,
are the
I
ones that did
see
all
them.
the repairs.
Seeing them at the
Exactly.
airlock and
They've got, a +3 to their mechanic cat skill. Oh boy. And last but absolutely not least, Kevin.
Hey everybody, Kevin. You can find me everywhere, Twitter, Twitch, whatever, The Lawful Geek. And on my channel, I run perhaps way too many games, mostly tabletop RPGs. Though I do the occasional video game stream, mostly RPGs as well. Tomorrow, our roles will be reversed because it is my fortnightly Shadowrun game where Diane is one of my players. There'll be heists, there'll be hijinks, and if Diane's character is involved, there'll be explosions. On Friday,
I intend those explosions.
Sometimes.
Only sometimes.
Other times,
yeah, there was at least one time, one very infamous one time. On Friday, I'm doing another game, Vampire the Masquerade, and on Sunday is my weekly D&D game on my own homebrew setting. And those are just 3 of the 6 games I run on the channel.
Basically, go check out Kevin's channel. Partly because we'll be there tomorrow night at it's 7:30 GMT.
Yeah, 7:30. Well, BST right now.
So
British summertime.
yeah, BST, whatever British time.
Basically,
Anyway.
7:30 p.m. UK time. That's how I do it.
Yeah. So half an hour later than this game started today, be on Kevin's channel and watch us play Shadowrun, which is always fantastic, and my character definitely gets a lot more traumatized than I intend.
Diane's character definitely has never blown up a police station. It hasn't happened.
definitely never.
Anyway, moving swiftly along. Yeah, I'm Diane, Balrog1911 on Twitch and Twitter. Please feel free to follow me. I would love it if you did. I do stream on my own channel as well. I've had to rejigger my schedule a little bit, given that I run this now. But this Friday, I'm going to start a fresh run of Alien Isolation, because I started playing that ages ago and then haven't touched it since, and now I figured out how to put sound alerts on my Twitch, so if you want to see me play the only game that actually scares the crap out of me, stop by on Friday at, 9 p.m. European, 3 p.m. Eastern, and yeah, have fun with that. And then I'm here every week. I'm on Kevin's channel every other week. And yeah, that's basically me. I do that. And yeah, I did recently dip my toes into actually streaming tabletops from my channel, which I started off with a game of Stille Nacht. So thank you, Petra, for designing an absolutely fantastic game. And that's basically it. Do please, if you've been here with us for these past 3 hours, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and with all of the pew-pew I can manage. If you have the time, come back in an hour when the amazing Celeste is going to be running a game of Gun and Slinger. Yes, a gun and slinger, because someone is the gun and someone is the slinger. And if that doesn't make you want to check out the system, then I don't know how else to sell it to you, other than it's a game where you can be the gun, right? So yeah, that's the start of our one-shot Wednesdays, which are basically always going to be 1 hour after our show. And I invite you to stick around for that. I also invite you to go to the Weave the Tail Twitter and check out the schedule, because we've got quite a few really wonderful shows. We kicked it off last night with Asunder and keeping it going today with some sci-fi adventures. So, hey, thanks everyone for being here, and thanks to my amazing cast for helping me get this journey going with a literal bang. It's fantastic, and I'll see you next week for the next session of The Vault in Our Stars. I'm still very proud of that title. So thank you. Good night, everyone. And thank you also to Sam, our tech. You did amazing. Thank you, because we would be nowhere without someone running the behind the scenes. So everyone in chat, please give a massive thank you in chat as well. Because who are we but pawns in the tech's game?
You're at their mercy.
Right. But yeah, see you next week, where we'll see what this squad of pilots gets up to with an actual mission.
Even we don't know.